All right, guys. So we are in week 7 of our Dream Vacation Enrich. And week 7, we are going to create a budget using Google Sheets. So I'm going to show you how to do all of that. Now, just a reminder, I hope that you're going in order because if you haven't done all the assignments, then you're not going to be able to complete your budget. So if you haven't, then you need to backtrack and get all of those other slides done so you can move on to your budget. So let's see, let's go. When you open up week 6 or week 7, sorry, you're going to be given an assignment and it will look like this. It'll have Dream Vacation budget and you'll open it up and it is in Google Sheets and you're just going to complete the Google template. I've already given some numbers and placed some formulas in there, so it's super easy. You just got to have your numbers from the previous weeks. So the first thing that you need to do is you're going to have to find your air number. How much did it cost your client to fly to their destination? So you're going to place that number in this total right here. So air total. Now we're pretending that our clients had $12,000 to spend on this vacation, and we're going to subtract from that as we go along. So here we are, we're at air. Now, how do I find my air total? I'm going to go back to the tab for Dream Vacation, go into Schoology, and find the week where I found a flight and found how much it was going to cost my client to fly to their destination. Well, that's going to be in week 3. So I'm going to click on week 3. And when it opens, I'm going to scroll all the way down to my assignment where I completed the air slide. When I open it, I'm going to go to my document. And when it loads, I can go down and I have my cost right here. So you're going to know if you completed everything you needed to complete for your air slide when you get here. If you don't have a total there, then you've got to backtrack. You've got to go back to that lesson and find out how much it cost your client. Hopefully everyone completed this element of their slide. So now what you can do is you can click in that and you can copy and paste it. So you could highlight it and then you could hit click Control C to copy it, or you could right click and after you've highlighted it, you could right click and click copy. So you could do one of those things. And it just reminds you, hey, you can use Control C if you want to. So make sure you've highlighted the whole number, and then you're going to open the tab for Dream Vacation Budget, and you are going to Control V to get it into that space. Just make sure that you are putting your number in the correct place. So I Control V, and now here is my air total. Notice that on your spreadsheet, it took away $5,923. Your number will be different from your initial budget, and then it tells you how much you have left right here. All right, now we need to move over to hotel. So I'm going to click into that space just to help me remember which one I'm doing. So I'm going to go back to my Schoology. Before I go any further, one thing that would make this a lot easier is that whenever you open up your budget, if you will go ahead and click the button that says Edit, and then it'll open up that tab. So you're just going between these two tabs back and forth. I forgot to mention that at the beginning, but it will make it a lot easier if you just go ahead and click the Edit button and allow your sheets to be on a completely different window. All right, so moving on, what am I looking for? I'm looking for my hotel number. So I'm going to go back to my Dream Vacation, and I can use the cookie trail and go back to Dream Vacation right here and find the week where I found my hotel. So I'm going to click on week 5, pick your hotel, and I'm going to scroll down until I find my hotel slide. And when it loads, you'll go to my document and click on down until it loads. It may take a minute, so don't freak out if it's not there. It will show up. Now, where on my slide can I find my total cost for my hotel? Right here in this little table, it says total cost for trip, and I should have already had my price per night multiplied by my number of nights, and that equals that number. So I already have my total for the trip. So I'm just going to highlight, Control C, go over to my budget, click in the correct cell, and Control V. And now my hotel number has shown up, and it has subtracted the hotel amount from what was left over after air. And it's also telling me my total cost. It's calculating my total cost that I've spent so far. So far I've spent $7,062.40. Now, food. It was pretty impossible for us to go into every menu and to know what each person's going to eat. It's actually pretty impossible to predict what someone's going to eat. Let's say someone wanted a snack in the middle of the day. So we can't completely budget that out to the penny. But what you do is you give yourself a daily budget. So a daily budget for a family of 4. Remember, we have 2 adults and 2 kids. So let's think about how much it would cost each person in that family to eat each day. So remember, you have breakfast and you have lunch and then you have dinner. So let's say that it costs, because they're on this dream vacation, so they're going to go to some nice restaurants along the way. Let's say that each person costs $100 a day to eat. So how many people are in my family? I have 4. So what is 4 times 100? That equals 400, right? So I have $400 that I'm going to spend each day. And how many days am I on this trip? 7 days. So what I will do is I'm going to create a formula, and so are you. And it's the same formula for all of us. This is the same number. So everyone's going to input this on their food cost. So watch how I do this, and then you're going to do the same thing. It's really fun. You're going to make a formula. So you're going to say equals, because you have to do that to tell it that it's going to be calculating something. We have 7 days, and then you're going to use your star button as your multiplication sign. You're not going to use the X because that doesn't work. You're going to use your star. So I'm going to find my star on here, and I'm going to use that, and then it shows up, or my asterisk, whatever you want to call it. So how much was it going to cost my family per day? $400. So 7 times 400, and then I'm going to press the enter, and then it's going to calculate the 2,800. Now, don't be lazy bones and just type in 2,800 right there. You can if you get really frustrated, but I really want you to try to practice how to create those formulas in your spreadsheet, because you will be doing that later on. So how much money did you spend total? You spent I spent $9,862.40. I have leftover $2,137.60 left over for attractions, because we saw all the amazing attractions through our Google tours and when we were exploring our country of things and places they could visit. Many of those places cost money for admission, or even for transportation. So you've got all of that money for attractions and transportation left over. So $2,000 is a pretty good amount. That's a good amount left over. If you only have like $100 left over, that's not really enough for your family. So you may want to adjust some things. You may want to find a cheaper flight or a cheaper hotel. Do something to make those numbers look better. So now that we have our numbers input and we know how much is left over, we're going to create a chart using our spreadsheet. So pay close attention. This is super fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight, I'm going to click and drag air, hotel, and food. So I want their titles, I want their labels, air, hotel, and food. I want those highlighted. And then I also want the numbers. So I'm going to highlight all of that together. So I'm going to click, drag. Notice how most everything's turning a light blue color or changing color. When I've done that, I have everything highlighted. So when I do that, you see how I have this little blue square or rectangle? and then a little dot right there, that is telling me all of that is highlighted. And that's all I want to be highlighted, my labels and my amounts. Now I'm going to go up to Insert, and I want to insert a chart. So you're going to go here to Chart, and you're going to click it. When you do that, you have created a column chart, because that's default. I don't want us to use a column chart. I want us to use a pie chart. So we're going to go over here to our chart editor, and under setup, all of this will pop up. You're going to go to chart type, and then it says column chart. That's not what I want. I'm going to click the drop down, and I'm going to change it to pie chart. And now I have a nice pie chart, and I'm going to move it over so I can see it. And now it's in my spreadsheet. Doesn't it look fancy? Okay, so this kind of gives you a visual, an easy visual of how much you're spending, or how much your client is spending on each thing. So what are my clients spending most of their money on? That's right, they're spending most of their money on air, and then the rest of it, a good chunk of it, on food, and their hotel is a pretty good amount. It's only less than 12% of their whole budget. So if I could, if I'm a really good travel agent, I may try to find a cheaper flight for my clients, because, I typically wouldn't want it to take up 60% of the budget. So that's just a way that you can look at everything. And if you can make adjustments, do that. If not, don't worry about it. Your main goal is to learn how to input data into a Google Sheet, create a formula, and calculate a number, and then insert a chart into your sheet. Now, I think that's a pretty good accomplishment for an enriched lesson. So you guys have fun with this. And some people like to go in there and change up their colors. You can do that. You see how you can double click on it, and I could change the colors on it. So you can play around with it only if you have extra time to make it look super awesome, because you will add this chart to your website. And we'll chat about that, because the next time we have a lesson, I'm going to show you the website, and you're going to start inputting slides and designing your website the way that you want to. So next week's a big week. So enjoy, and I hope that you all get everything into your Google Sheet. And if you have extra time to work on something else, you can, and make it even better. All right, see you guys.